Hi, it's Toronto immigration lawyer Max Chaudhary. I wanted to give a sampling of some interactions with the Canada Border Service Agency, especially for those with permanent resident or temporary resident status. One question is, why should you care about the CBSA's activities? One reason would be to avoid investigations and detention or jail. In Toronto, the CBSA can arrest and detain you. If in the Toronto area, you may end up in detention at 385 Rexdale Boulevard. If detained, you may need a bondsperson. A bondsperson is someone to post a deposit as a condition of release from detention. You may also need legal representation at the Immigration Division of the Immigration and Refugee Board. What are some of the relevant duties of the CBSA? The CBSA enforces the borders of Canada and also administers some parts of Canada's immigration laws, such as pre-removal risk assessments and enforcement, which in turn includes protecting the integrity of Canada's immigration laws. The integrity of Canada's immigration laws includes removing people from Canada who do not possess valid status in Canada, be it study permit holder, work permit holder, or visitor status. Where does the CBSA operate? The CBSA operates all over Canada, given its mandate to deal with immigration violations all over Canada. How do you arrange a CBSA meeting? One method of being apprised of a CBSA meeting is by receiving a letter inviting you to see a CBSA officer. In Toronto, this is often at 6900 Airport Road. Another method is where a meeting takes place without your control, on a sudden or ad hoc basis. For example, by a traffic stop in a vehicle where a police officer investigates a driving offense, and you're in the car, and they discover that there is a warrant for your arrest. The police then arrest you and transport you to the holding center at 385 Rexdale Boulevard. Another method of initiating a meeting is when you may voluntarily give yourself up because you are tired of living with the uncertainty of no status. Another question is, who is often the subject of a CBSA interaction? A common profile is a person who may have received a negative refugee claim, failed Refugee Appeal Division Appeal, or RAD, a failed federal court application, and a failed pre-removal risk assessment application. Keep in mind that you have a removal order when you start the refugee process, and the previously mentioned steps are the delays of that removal order which were issued to you at the start of a refugee process. Another scenario that can lead to an interaction is if you have no identification when first entering Canada and are a risk to the Canadian public. The absence of ID would be interpreted as if you are potentially a fugitive from a foreign justice system. Another circumstance that may be related to permanent resident of Canada who may be confronted by a CBSA officer on the basis of that permanent resident holder failing to have at least 730 days of physical presence in the past 5 years. Where may you interact with the CBSA? One place could be at work. For example, you may be working without a work permit and are arrested at your place of work. Another venue may be at a Canadian port of entry if you are a permanent resident, and the CBSA officer may query your pattern of physical presence in Canada within the past 5 years, leading to a possible investigation and taking away of status. Or you could be a visitor to Canada who answers routine questions in a way that elicits more attention by a CBSA officer. Or you may be a citizen of Canada who fails to declare money valued at over $10,000 when entering Canada. The concern may be related to the potential laundering of money based on the amount of cash being possessed. A problematic scenario is if you missed a meeting with the CBSA or failed to report to a CBSA officer. This can increase the chances of being detained. Such missed meetings may include a follow-up meeting at the border after you are let into Canada, or a meeting to receive a pre-removal risk assessment, or a meeting to arrange for the voluntary removal of yourself from Canada. Such missed meetings may lead to a Canada-wide warrant for your arrest. If you are the subject of a Cbsa interaction or fear that you have an ongoing or potential interaction with the Cbsa, contact Chaudhary Law Office. Thank you.